Hi, this is Lou, welcome to my channel. And this week I've been working on a Celtic knot mandala. In my last video I shared how to make a Celtic knot in a ring, and I thought I would do that, make it one that was a little bit more intricate and add some decoration to the centre. So that's what I'm doing here. I've created my circle and created a kind of grid around the outside, and then I've put in some dividing lines which are going to make the knots really interesting. And again, if you want to know how to do that, then there's a link in the description box to my last video. For this I've decided to divide my circle into 48 different sections. So I divided it into 6, and then 12, then 24, and then 48, just halving the width of the sections each time. I do a very rough pencil outline, just so I know which bits are going over and which bits are going under. And then I go in with my pen and I try and make my lines nice and smooth and rounded, but you will see that there is a little bit of wobble to them. It takes a little bit of time to go around all the circle, and doing that pencil sketch first and just checking that you've got all of the unders and overs the right way around really helps. And there were a few places where I had to correct the pencil sketch because I'd got it the wrong way around. So having completed my outer ring, I decide I'm going to put something in the centre. I've got my 48 divisions there, and I decide that kind of every 4 is a good number to use. That gives me a nice central line to use as a kind of a symmetry point. I use the compasses to put in a couple of little extra guideline circles just for where the bits of the pattern cross. So I make sure that they're all in the right place. As I'm drawing these lines, they're quite long and they're curved, so they're quite tricky to draw in a kind of fluid way. I do put in a couple of little dots to guide my pen to know where like the halfway point is. I'm not entirely happy with the shape of some of these, but I know that once I've got the rest of the decoration in, you won't notice any little kind of inconsistencies so much. Now I've got this kind of flower shape in the centre, and it's got some gaps. So I try a couple of different designs in pencil to see what I want to make, and I decide on these kind of, I don't know if they're like Victorian looking flourishes. They don't look very Celtic. Maybe some leaves, and any extra space I put a couple of little circles in just to fill it in. I put in pencil sketches for each of these little patterns as I'm going around. Sometimes I just like to freehand them, but I felt with this one I wanted a little bit more guidance. And then that could be it. I could have left it there, but I decided it needs some contrast. So I decided to colour in some bits black, so these kind of central decorative bits, and then in between all of the ins and outs of the woven bit, the Celtic knot bit, I decided to colour all of those in black too. And then I could go all the way and I could colour in all around all of my little decorative elements. And I'm not sure if that's going to be too much. So I decided to do like a halfway house, and I use some stippling in some of those areas. I could decide later if I want to change it to go in black over the top. But putting in that kind of stippling to start with just gives me the option to leave it as stippling or to colour it in later on. And I decided for the time being I quite like just the stippling in there, so that's how I've left it. So thanks very much for watching. I really hope that you've enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Okay, bye bye.